Hello, hello, Facebook family in Pittsburgh and around the world. Thank you for tuning in. This is another week of Real Estate Unfiltered. And this is Jordana. And so happy that you're here today. Oh, and it says Jordana, sunny Pittsburgh. I just realized I forget to change up, but on one of the calls I'm at, they like to say I'm the sunshine. So that's very sweet of them. And I put sunny Pittsburgh. All right, and it is sunny, and so that's great. And I just did aqua aerobics, which is amazing. And you know what it makes me feel like? Vacation. I love the summer. And the thing about Pittsburgh is, you know, it's a great place to vacation. Well, it is a great place to vacation. It's a great place to be. But also, what we're going to talk about today is vacation homes because a few things. First of all, as we said in the intro email, you can have something like Erie. Some people around here, a lot of people have a camp. You can have a camp that you're an hour or two away from. Or, you know, I was thinking recently about having maybe a condo in Florida and then doing an Airbnb in the when I wasn't there and then going in the wintertime. So, just because I realized just how much I love the summer and the sun and being in the pool. So then how does it relate to real estate? A few things, and there are a few ways you can go about this. If you currently own a home, one thing that you can do, depending on the price of the other property. So say you want to camp, and sometimes those camps are really inexpensive because let's just say, for example, a friend of mine was looking in West Virginia. And by the way, I'm licensed in Pennsylvania, not West Virginia, but I do work for a company that has agents all over the world. So I can help find somebody in all the areas, hopefully. That is, in most areas I know, very good people who should take really good care of you. They better anyway. And so West Virginia, they wanted a campsite because it's pretty cheap to get some acreage at a house. And then you can just be like an hour away because we're on the border of Ohio and West Virginia. And let's just say you get something, I don't know, under 100,000 and you go, well, I don't know, how am I going to finance this? So there's a couple different options. One of which is if you currently own a home and you have equity in that home, you can take some uh, equity out of that home. So you can get a home equity loan. That's when you see those home equity loan ads, that's what you can do with that. You can take that money out if you have enough cash and just take it completely out and buy that property in cash. Now, that's if it's, far less expensive than what you own. But let's just say you do want to buy a condo in Florida, which is more expensive. You can also take equity out of your current property and you might need extra money, right? So that's when it comes down to you need, again, we always talk about this, but trusted advisor. And I do have also referrals for lenders who can help with this. So the interest rate's a little bit higher typically than if you own your own home, but do the numbers. And if you're doing something like an Airbnb or renting it out, and I know many people doing that, and it'll just pay for itself. And then X number of years, 15, usually 15, 20 years for investment property. And before you know it, sadly, it goes so fast that it'll be 15 years and it'll be paid off. And then, especially if you're younger, it gives you an opportunity to consider this will be your retirement. Or if you want to sell it down the line, it's an investment regardless. Um, so you have a lot of options. If you don't currently own a home, but you just think, I want to rent where I'm at, but I do want an investment property. Now that still you'd have to speak to the lender about this because if you don't live in the city, it still be considered an investment property, which typically you do have to put down 20%. So unlike your own house, there is more typically that you have to put down. Now, that being said, again, talk to a lender. I'm not the one giving out the money. But usually the reason they do that is because you're less likely to walk away from your own home than you are from a vacation home. So this is a really good topic, man. I'm glad you brought this up because I have actually thought maybe I should invest now in something in, say, Florida. And 15 years from now, I'll be 65 and it'll be paid off thanks to help with the Airbnb. And then I will have this property in Florida. So that's something actually that has been on my mind. So, and same thing, like I said, I've also thought about different campsites. I've heard about some of these friends, they go to these camps over the weekend, little house. We were in Ohio, and there's a cute little house, and felt so nice just to be away from home, but not too far. Log cabin and on the river, on the lake. All right. Well, do you have any questions, Mia, that I can answer?
Sure, we have one. The question is for someone who has equity in their current home and is dreaming about a vacation home. What's the first conversation they should have with the lender
Oh,
before they start shopping?
that's funny because that's the exact question that I was just answering. We always are on the same, like we're always synced up, which is great. Well, again, it's the key is trusted advisor. So I have referrals. I'm happy to refer you to somebody. If I don't have the proper referral, I am a part of many, many networks. Keller Williams has hundreds of thousands of agents, and the peers I know people in different cities too. So we really need to talk to a lender. And don't be afraid to talk to a lender. Don't think, well, I don't have this money or I don't have the right credit. You got to start somewhere. Don't ever be intimidated or afraid. If it needs to be fixed, whether it be your credit, whether you need to save more money, all this is doable. Could all be done. So just take that first step and take that first leap and, let me get you in touch with somebody. What other questions do you have? Did that answer that question?
Yeah, thank you, thank you. The last question I have is there a difference between buying a vacation home mainly for personal use versus buying one with rental
Ooh.
income in mind?
Ooh, that is a really good question. This is another thing that is going to be a question that you would ask the lender because they might have certain stipulations. Also, if there's a condo, they may have, rules like you might not be able to rent it out. So you may have to, it might not even be an option. And the other thing is that, um, sorry, that's my dog snorting away. He's just a little guy. And let's see, now I lost my train of thought. But I think, yes, I think the other thing is, yeah, you have to consider also insurance. I would talk to your insurance agent and find out the ramifications of renting. If something happens, you might need a different insurance policy. So those are really good questions. And also, I would just do the numbers, I mean, you got to figure out not just the mortgage, but if it's a condo, the condo association, or the maintenance of the property, if it's a single family house, taxes, etc. So figure out what numbers work for you and also be realistic. I mean, if you're looking to also do an Airbnb, there are certain times of year harder to get people or harder to get people paying a certain amount. And also, do you have someone keeping an eye out for it? I had a friend many, many years ago when I lived right outside Philadelphia and worked right outside Philadelphia, and he owned, I remember, a property on the beach in New Jersey. And man, that place is probably worth so much now. That was like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, maybe even longer. But he did have short-term rentals, and he found that he preferred to have long term because even though he got less money, the short term was more stressful for him because you just never know if people are having parties and then they make a mess, then you have to have cleaning people. So yeah, you really want to think about it. And look, you're going to make mistakes. And when you're an investor or even owning a second property, everything comes with challenges. So sometimes in life, you just have to take that leap of faith. Anything else?
That's it, Jordan. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you so much. And I hope everybody's loving the summer as much as I am because I really do love it. And everybody have a great day. And if you have any questions about any real estate needs, you know where to find me. 412-657-3555. And you have a wonderful day.